OK, I can speak now to E.J. Hogendoorn, who's a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council's Africa Centre, and he's the former senior advisor to the Special Envoy for Sudan and South Sudan. He joins me live from Washington, D.C. Welcome to you. Let's just start with those reports of the latest or drone attacks, it seems. Is it possible the RSF might be setting its sights on the capital?
I don't think that at this point in time they would want to go for the capital. Usually the patterns in Sudan are you have a clash in a particular city, and then basically both sides kind of retreat and rearm and regroup. So I think that this is one of the reasons the RSF has accepted the ceasefire proposals from the Quad, but perhaps is also the reason why the SAF is calling for more conflict.
What exactly did the RSF want at this point? It seems like the country's almost kind of split in two. What are they striving for, the entire country?
Well, I think ultimately the goal of both sides is to win the war. Unfortunately, the reality is that neither side is militarily powerful enough to do so. So I think at least in the interim, the RSF is probably relatively happy with what it has achieved up to now in the fact that it has essentially taken control of all of Western Sudan.
It feels like there's almost two stories here. There's the war, and then there's this parallel story of the human suffering, which it sounds like, according to all the reports, the RSF is voluntarily inflicting upon its own citizens. What is its criteria? When we heard there from one person there who said that people were just put down on the ground and just shot. Just arbitrarily. What's the criteria for when they decide to execute somebody? Why?
Well, I can't speak to that. I mean, I certainly would agree with you that this is a humanitarian disaster of epic proportions. About 75% of the population has been affected by the war. There is dire humanitarian need, which is one reason why people have welcomed the announcement that a ceasefire deal had been achieved. Obviously, it doesn't look like that deal may stick, but lots and lots of people have been affected. The big problem with Sudan, and this is a problem that we have struggled with for many, many decades, is that we are talking about armies that are not very professional. They are using lots and lots of militias. They're using lots and lots of part-time soldiers, people from very rural areas that have long-standing grievances against each other. And unfortunately, they take those grievances out with these atrocities, which I do believe are credible.
Yeah, and given that they do seem very credible, when the RSF agrees to allow a humanitarian pause and allow aid to come in, should we not just expect they're actually going to seize that aid themselves and use it and weaponize it?
Well, I mean, the diversion of humanitarian assistance is also a big problem. This is one reason why we do think that it's always important to have international monitors in place to ensure that as little of that aid gets stolen by the warring parties. Unfortunately, that is something that does happen, and people kind of have to weigh what is required to get food to desperate civilians.
E.J., good to speak to you. Thank you so much for coming on. E.J. Hogendoorn from the Atlantic Council for Africa.